Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Hack Riverdale informational webinar. It's November 23rd, and you are here right now with me, Greg Serafian, and
Michael Vasile.
We are the event organizers, and this informational webinar is really about just answering some commonly asked questions and answering some of your questions live. So you can ask us questions live by visiting chat.hackriverdale.com. And so we're just going to start off by going through a few things that we've been commonly asked, and as we go through, if questions are asked, we'll go ahead and answer them. So let's get started here. So first off, we're always asked, what is Hack Riverdale? So it is an all-day invention competition where you work with a team and you just build something cool. So it's not intended to be a real competitive environment, but you have a chance to win some cool prizes anyway. So what we're looking for teams to create is some sort of prototype that displays a cool and original idea and just something innovative. So that's really what we're about with the whole event. And so when we ask people to create, to invent something, an invention competition, a lot of people are intimidated by the fact that they don't know how to code. So the question we get asked is, what if I don't know how to code? So if you don't know how to code, we are setting up several different workshops, two of which we'll touch upon in a second. But we have workshops where you can learn how to prototype apps without any code at all. There's also going to be a workshop that teaches participants who sign up HTML, the coding language for the web. And then you can also learn from your team. So there's definitely going to be some people at the event who may know some code already, while you might be one of those people that doesn't know code yet. And that's one of the great things on working on a team, is that you're able to learn from each other and everyone brings a unique skill set. Lastly, coding isn't required. Like we said, one of the workshops that we'll talk about doesn't require any code at all, and you can build a fully working app prototype. So just because you don't know how to code doesn't mean that you can't participate at Hack Riverdale. We actually want people like you if you don't know how to code. It's definitely an event for beginners, and it's just going to be a lot of fun overall. So we talked about it before. It's these workshops. So what are the workshops like? So the first two workshops that we have set up right now that we're planning, we may add more in the future, but currently we have an app prototyping workshop, and that is going to be taught by myself, Greg Serafian, and it's going to be using a platform called Marvel App Prototyping. Now, what this allows you to do, Marvel App, is it allows you to create prototypes purely based on images. So what that means is you might create an image in Photoshop or PowerPoint, and just upload it into Marvel, and then you can set up these hotspots that let you click from screen to screen. And it requires no coding at all, and it really allows you to build a great visual prototype. You can see this, for example, on the website in our FAQ section when it talks about what if I don't know how to code. It shows an example of an app called Notice, and that was one that was created using Marvel App, and it required no code at all. So definitely don't be intimidated by a lack of coding knowledge. There's definitely plenty of opportunities to, build something great without code at all. So Mike can talk about his workshop, Intro to HTML.
So I'm doing a introduction to HTML and how to make a basic website. So I've heard a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of people talking. I've talked to a lot of people here at Riverdale about some of the ideas that they have going into the competition, and a lot of people are thinking about making some websites. And they don't necessarily know how to make a website. So basically this will just be like a bit of a crash course in HTML, which is the language of websites and web apps. It's going to be a very basic tutorial on how to make a web page and get it live so people can look at it. So yeah, that's basically it. It's going to be an hour long. I'm not sure if you said, I was actually just reading some of the questions that we've got on the chat. But like I said, these are hour long workshops. Greg's is in the morning, so that's his gonna be in the morning. I believe it's at like 10. I think
Yeah, tentatively 10 o'clock.
tentatively
Yeah.
10 o'clock. We may change it, and I believe mine is tentatively in the afternoon after lunch at 2. So we're not putting them right back to back because we want you to get the most time to hack. So that's really some of the stuff that we want to do with these workshops. So I'll let Greg take over again.
Yeah, great. So, moving on again, we just want to remind you that you can ask us questions by visiting chat.hackriverdale.com. We will answer them as we, present. And so the next thing is people ask, okay, how are my hacks going to be judged? Like, how do I actually win some of these prizes? So what we're doing is there's going to be an expo time. So, Rust, how does the expo work? So what's going to happen is in your hacking space, eventually when it becomes time for the expo, all the teams are going to set up mini booths, kind of like a science fair, where they would have some sort of demo going on of their hack. And then the judges and some guests that'll be there, other participants, they'll be able to walk around and check out all the hacks, see who they're up against, obviously. And then, the judges will judge based upon some of these criteria that we'll get into next. But it's really casual. It's just your team stands by your booth and you just talk about what you created. So there's no pressure, and you're really just showing off what you came up with. So the expo was really simple in that. And then, so about the judges, obviously that would be the next logical question, is how does the judging work? So we really have 3 main criteria that the judges are going to base their decisions off of. And so the first one is creativity. So we want all of the teams to, build something creative, work hard, come up with something that they're proud of. Definitely, we want the hack to be original. So, say you propose something like you propose Snapchat or something.
Yeah, if you promote something that's been done a million times, it probably won't do as well as somebody who comes up with a truly original idea. The point of hackathons is really to create something that's really out of the box. Come up with some type of app that's very original, does something that you've never seen before. It's just an example with the app that we made, Notice. That was an app that incorporated several different features that existed in like other apps, to just kind of bring it all into one app. So that was kind of the purpose of that. So that's what I mean, like thinking original. Think about if a lot of the times, a lot of people for hackathons, they like to make apps, and I'm not necessarily saying this is what you should do or this is what's required of you, but a lot of people like to make apps that like solve a problem. So, for example, the Notice, which Greg was talking about earlier, that one was communication in the event of an emergency, no matter where you are, like having proper communication, proper information during an emergency. So, and a lot of the feature set of that application was very original. There was a lot of stuff that was not out there. So basically, it's all just about the originality. That's a big thing about the originality. And I think Greg could say something about the innovativeness of it as well. And I think that's pretty on par with the creativity. And they go really hand in hand, I believe. The more innovative it is, so if it's like how innovative it, how innovative it is, you don't have anything to say. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, absolutely. We just want something that's really forward thinking and ahead of the curve, cutting edge. But there's definitely no pressure to build something, super, super out there. I mean, it can be like we're saying, it could be a website, an app, or a game even. But we just want something that's cool, original, that you work hard creating. So, is there anything you want to add with that?
No. You did say about the prototyping, right?
Yeah.
It does have to. Yeah. So just to reiterate, all judges, like, in order to be qualifying for judging, I think we've said this a couple times. You have to submit your hack into DevPost, by 9 o'clock. We're probably open at about like 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30, somewhere around there. And it's just a quick registration. So all you have to do is type in like what your hack is, give a little brief description, and if you have team members, say who collaborated with you on the hack. So that's how we'll know who made what and what if it's like a team of people who's on the team. So a part of that is a part of the judging process is the hack on DevPost, because we're not going to come to you if it's not on DevPost. We're going to have a list of all the projects who did what. Excuse me. And that's one thing. And the second thing is you need to have something to present to us. So if you don't have anything to present to us, we can't really judge you if you don't have anything to show us, if you don't have some type of presentation. So yeah, basically that's it.
Now on to everyone's favorite part to hear. What can I win? Right? You want to know, what can you win? So what we've got here are the list of prizes. So there's going to be 3 prizes for teams. So, and each person on each team will receive 1 of each prize. So for example, the first prize for first place team is going to be Intel Compute Sticks for every single person. If you've never seen them, they're the little, it's a little stick with an HDMI port on the end, and you just plug it into a TV or a monitor, and it's an entire computer in your hand, which is really amazing. So that's going to be a really great prize for the first place team. And it does say for the entire team, but that goes without saying for second and third place as well. Second place, $50 Amazon gift cards for everyone on the team. It's pretty self-explanatory. We all know what Amazon is. And then third place, $25. So there's definitely a lot of team prizes up for grabs. Yeah.
We also have raffle prizes. These are individual prizes. So we have an Xbox One with some game bundle. We are not sure what game it is. That's part of the surprise, and that's part of the excitement. You don't know what you're going to get in the box. You do know it's an Xbox. I don't know what game it is. Let's hope it's something good. So we're going to have one of those, and if you recall correctly, if you've signed up before November 12th, we do have your name down. You get a double chance of winning, so you'll have 2 entries into the raffle. Everybody else that registered after November 12th has just a regular chance of winning. But don't let that discourage you. We'll give out all of the information on how those raffles work the day of. We'll address that day of, because we're still kind of working at the details on that. But our second raffle prize is an HP laptop, which we'd like to thank HP for providing, and also obviously Microsoft. Thank you for providing the raffle prizes. So we're going to be also raffling off the HP laptop. We didn't really do anything similar with the laptop as far as double chances, so everybody basically has a equal chance of winning that laptop. But if you don't have a laptop, you can always enter. And remember, like I said, it's a individual prize. That's why we're doing a raffle, so it's not like a team prizes. We don't have 5 Xbox Ones to give out or 5 laptops to give out, unfortunately. But we do have 5 gift cards, whether it be $50 or $25, and 5 Intel Compute Sticks, which are pretty cool. And yeah, I got Windows 10 too. I don't know if you like Windows 10. You can always put something else on it, to be quite honest with you.
That also kind of enforces just one of the main rules for the event is that teams can have no more than 5 people.
Oh yeah, true. That's correct. We're only doing 5-person teams. If you have any more than 5, you're gonna have to figure something out. I don't know.
One person isn't getting a prize if you win.
Yeah, one person's not getting a prize if you win. That's I guess that's unfortunately if you don't follow the rules. That's it.
And it's one of the only real That's
something that we're really enforcing.
But yeah, so definitely plenty of opportunities to win stuff. Although there's going to be a ton of free swag. Swag is in t-shirts, hats, freebies that are going to be given out. Regardless of if you win, there's going to be plenty of free stuff anyway. But then there's some of these great prizes too. So why not enter? Next up, the question that we sometimes get most often is, what should I bring? So definitely you're going to want to bring a laptop or a desktop computer. Now, this isn't absolutely required because if there's a situation where you don't own a laptop or desktop computer, you can definitely still compete because we can provide you with a laptop on the day of. The only thing you need to do for that is contact us via email. It's contact@hackriverdale.com to let us know if you need to have a laptop for the day of competition, just to borrow one, obviously.
And also, just to make sure, if this wasn't obvious already, we do have a very limited supply. So it's really first come, first serve. So if you do need a computer, let us know right away so we can accommodate for you. Because we want everybody to be able to participate. So yeah, we'll just be giving you a computer, and you just make sure you bring it back at the end of the event. So that's really it.
Yeah. Next up, we want you to bring your phone. Obviously, if you're going to be doing some prototyping on it, that would be necessary to have a phone. It's just a recommendation. Power strips. There is going to be, a decent amount of power being supplied to each of the teams at the event, but if you're bringing a lot of devices, 5 people per team, you might want more outlets. So we definitely recommend that you bring a power strip if you can. As many as you can bring is great. Now, some of the things that are absolutely required to bring is school ID. That is absolutely required. That is the only way that when you're being checked in, that we know you are who you say you are on the check-in.
And I just want to make this clear: if for whatever reason you don't have a school ID, if you have some other form of identification, so I think we're accepting anywhere from like passports, driver's license, like a driver, and any photo ID basically. So if you have some type of photo ID, that's perfectly acceptable. If it's not a school ID, we just need some form of identification to make sure that you are who you say you are, and we'll let you in.
And this also brings up like kind of a funny point. Some people, when they were signing up for the event, put in like funny fake names. If you put in a name that is not the name on your form of identification, you need to re-register with your actual name. I know, like, we didn't expect to have to say this, but make sure you're signing up with your legitimate name that's going to be on your form of identification. So make sure you do that. Next up, very, very important, is that you bring in the signed waiver. Now, this waiver, we're actually going to post it onto the website today, and you're going to be sent in an email the waiver. This is required to be brought to the event, just for everyone's own safety.
Everybody has to sign it, so it's not just you. It's also the volunteers also have to sign it. It's just a liability situation, so don't get freaked out. Just to make sure that we're not held accountable for anything. Make sure you bring that, and it says any necessary hardware and cables, but also if you need to bring any like medical stuff. So if let's say you have like an EpiPen or something, definitely bring it. It should go without saying, but make sure you have everything you need, whether it be hardware or actual like any important like medical stuff. So that's basically that as far as what you should bring.
Yeah. So now that kind of ends what we wanted to make sure that we covered through this little webinar here. But now we open it up for questions. So we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what questions we've gotten so far.
Yeah, it's got several questions.
Several questions, all right.
But I do want to just one other thing, and if you haven't read the rules, there's some of the important things, and I probably could have thrown this in on the what should I bring slide, but make sure that you're not bringing any outside food or drink. That's another important thing. I did mention about allergies. We don't want to have any outside food that possibly has like an allergen in. We don't want it to cause some type of allergic reaction with someone else. So it's really a safety thing, and we know what's coming into the building. So that's really an important thing. So it's time to address some questions. Let's see what we got here. I will remove that. There we go. Okay. Just give us a second.
Also, this is a great opportunity to say that you can follow us on all our social media accounts for updates.
Well, I'm pulling up the question. Sorry.
Yeah, we're just pulling up the questions here. Our social media accounts everywhere. It's going to be at Hack Riverdale. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. So definitely add us because there's going to be an upside to adding us on these social media platforms. There's surprises in store for that, but it's definitely the best way to get updates is to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then on the day of, adding us on Snapchat. So it's at Hack Riverdale. Do we have a question?
Yes, I do. First question, and this is one that we get a lot from a lot of people, both volunteers and even like the judges. We had some questions about this. Food. Do I have to pay for food? The answer is no. It's being provided free of charge. Several things are being provided free of charge, but namely the food is completely free of charge. So if you were concerned, oh, well, do I need to bring money for food? You won't have to. We'll have various food offerings, and we've obviously thought about, well, what if I'm a vegetarian or something? We'll have vegetarian options as well. So basically, we have any type of food, snack, and drink that you need, and it's all provided provided free throughout the day. And we'd like to thank our sponsors for that because they are basically giving us all of this food. Namely, shout out to Strawberry's Deli in Oradell and Calabria Pizzeria in Oradell, both providing food for Hack Riverdale throughout the day, and also providing snacks and drink. So that is a question there. We had another question about activities, or if there are going to be any activities. Planning several activities throughout the day, because I understand working 12 hours is a bit monotonous, and some people may get like they need to take a break. And I completely agree with you because it is extremely stressful, especially when you're working 12 hours. Working 12 hours straight is pretty intensive. So we're gonna have some little like fun competitions. I know that we are trying to do a Super Smash Brothers competition. You probably will. If I say Super Smash Brothers competition, it is gonna be Super Smash Brothers. I don't know which game it is. I know a lot of people like the GameCube version, and it is the best one. But I'm not sure if we can get our hands on a GameCube. We'll have some type of Super Smash Brothers. I don't know which one it's gonna be, but that's one. We may do some other like small ones, and I just want to throw this in. These competitions also give you an opportunity to win prizes. We'll have like gift cards and stuff, like T-shirts as well, and stuff from some of the vendors as well. Do you have all right?
Yeah. So we've got a question here that is.
Yeah, this is actually a very good question.
I'm
a total beginner. I don't know any code. Do you recommend any websites where I could learn something to help me prepare for the day? It depends on what you're doing. It completely depends on what you want to make. If you want to do like a website and you want to learn HTML, CSS, besides coming to the workshop, if you want to get a head start, I find that codeacademy.com is a great place to start. Say what you want about it, but it is a very great, it's a really good website. So take a look there. It's codeacademy.com. You just can make an account. It's free. Get a quick run through of all that. Another website that I've also looked at is Make School.
So yeah, they give a lot of support to hackathons as well. They're another way you can learn how to code. I mean, but like we said, coding is not required. Absolutely not. And really the event, it's an invention competition, so we just want you to make something cool. It doesn't have to be really technical. Those of you who don't know any code, this is the event for you because we have these workshops where you can learn. And being in this environment where you're almost forced to learn new skills is really going to help your skills evolve in terms of coding. So if you don't know any code whatsoever, definitely do not be intimidated. We want you to sign up because you're the type of person that we're looking for. So attend those workshops. That actually is a good idea. We might want to publish some resources on where to learn.
Yeah, we'll probably be talking about that during the workshops as well, and possibly in the opening ceremony. Once we put together a full run of show, we'll have that. Another question is like, can we ask question? Can I ask a question during the event if we get lost or need help? We're gonna have like mentors around, but they can't really help you with your hack. I just want to make that very clear. But if you have like questions about like what I have to be doing, like or what should I do or what should I use, we could help you get started, but we can't really help you with your actual hack. So that's probably the most important thing.
And so, like, if you have a question during the event, you're welcome. There's going to be staff members that are going to be in yellow shirts. They're the people to ask for questions. You'll see that on the day of. And then also we've got the same, when you go to the Hack Riverdale website, there's going to be on the bottom right a little chat bubble icon. Feel free during the event to click on there and start chatting with a representative. We're going to have people on there at all times answering any questions. So there's no reason to be worried about maybe not understanding something or getting lost, because we're going to have people all around the building to make sure that no one is getting lost. Security is a big thing for us.
Yeah, if you get physically lost, there's people everywhere, a bunch of volunteers, so I don't think you're going to get physically lost. But if you are, competition-wise, if you're lost, like you're not sure what you should be doing or something, we'll have mentors walking around. They're separate from the volunteers because we have volunteers like I shouldn't really say this, but I could admit that we have people that don't know how to code at all as volunteers, but that's perfectly fine because we appreciate their help. But we have some mentors who are going to be walking around and they know their stuff, so I'll be walking around as well. So if you want to speak to me or Greg directly, we can help you out as well. So
yeah, and also with like literal like campus security, we are going to have the local police department around just in case anyone is worried about any kind of security issue. So that's definitely nothing anyone should be worried about security wise. Do you have another question? Actually, there is a question. It is asking. So we say on the website the event is 12 hours, but the schedule goes from 7 to 10:15. So the 12 hours is referring to the actual time when you can work on your hacks.
So we're gonna be starting the hacking time at 9 o'clock. So as soon as it turns 9, you can get started. And by the way, if you didn't read the rules, you can only start your hack. You can only begin your hack at 9 o'clock or after 9 o'clock a.m. You cannot work on it after or before the 9 o'clock. When submissions close at 9 p.m., you can continue to work on your hack, but it just needs to, if you have to put like finishing touches and finalize it before the the closing ceremony and the expo, feel free to do that. But we do need a submission in by 9 o'clock. If we don't have your submission by 9 o'clock when DevPost closes, you're not eligible for judging. So, and then more information qualified.
Yeah. So, and also more information on how to actually submit these, we'll talk about on the day of. So, if you're not familiar with DevPost, we'll introduce all the participants to that on the day of when that's set up. Do we have any questions?
I believe we have one that's somebody still writing it.
Okay. This is also a good opportunity to definitely thank all of our sponsors, right? So we have sponsorships, and actually a good opportunity to talk about some of the sponsors that are going to be there. For example, our sponsor, Microsoft, they're going to be setting up a device booth where you can feel free to take a look and test drive their latest tech. And
we don't know what they're going to have, but probably be very good. So it's perfect timing. Maybe if you're looking for a new computer, they may have something good for you. Hopefully, we're trying to get them to have like an Xbox on display. We're not sure. We're still kind of working out that aspect of the device bar, but we'll work on that. I have another question just quickly before we can go into the sponsors.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking me if you have an idea before the hackathon. That's perfectly fine. If you can, this is really the time. Like, you can come up with the idea all you want. The big issue that we have is people that start working on it, like as in they make like a website or they make the app or they make the game before the event, and then they just come and like don't do anything at the event, or just like literally finish. Like they you cannot start it at the you cannot start it before the event, basically.
It's a great idea to come with an idea.
You can work on that idea, and you can always come up with one the day of. I think, I don't know what you were about to say, but if you could always just come here and come up with something. That's perfectly acceptable as well. If you don't have a clue what you're doing and you walk in the door and say, I'm going to do this. That's perfectly fine. And if you want help coming up with the idea as well, you could bounce it off a volunteer or something, or bounce it off a mentor, and they will be maybe help you come up with an idea. They can't like give you an idea, but they can definitely help you come up like in your making an idea.
Even other teams too. Like some teams can say, why don't you test drive our app and we'll take a look at yours, see what you think. So there's definitely it's a big part of the event is collaboration.
Your collaboration with other teams as well. Don't look at them as your arch rival, your rivals, or your nemesis, or your competitors. Look at them as people people that can help you. So yeah. How many people will be there approximately? We don't know as of right now, because we still have registration open. Registration is open, I believe, until, I don't know if we're either closing on the 1st or the 2nd of December. We're keeping it open, so we don't have an approximate number. We're in the high 70s, we're in high 70s territory. So we're almost at 80, but we're expecting at least 100 people. So we're pretty much. And by the way, this is I don't know if you've mentioned about the local hack day. MLHA only expects 50 to 75 people, so we have a lot more than they expect as of right now. So.
I actually didn't mention that. So this about MLH.
Oh yeah, we probably should mention that.
Yeah, so MLH stands for Major League Hacking, and this is the league that most of the international hackathons are a part of. So we're a part of Major League Hacking's Local Hack Day 2016. It's actually the largest day of student hacking internationally. So there's going to be a bunch of different local hack days going on December 3rd. And so you're going to be simultaneously hacking with people around the globe. So it's really cool in that way. So if you ever hear us mention MLH, that is Major League Hacking.
Check them out, mlh.io. Selfless plug.
That's it.
And another question someone had is, how do we form the teams? I'm not sure if you were here when I was talking about DevPost, but we are using something called DevPost. It's a tool that hackathon. It's for hackathons to submit your whatever your project is, your hack. And when you're submitting your hack, you basically are going to you write who helped you, who made this, and that's how we see your teams. You can form teams of up to 5 people. You just come here. You could come here as a singleton and then maybe join someone else's team. Or you could also just come with a group of friends, up to a group of 5 people. And basically all that matters at the end of the day is that your teammates, to be a valid team, when you're submitting, the only thing that matters is that you have on DevPost that says, this is my team. So, John Smith, Mary Jane, and it lists all the team members that contributed to your hack.
Yeah. We would also, just as in terms of a recommendation from personal experience from Mike and I, being at these hackathons, it'd be a good idea for each team member to take a role. So, for example, one person might want to focus on how they're going to present the hack. One person might have the original idea. Another person might be the coder. So it'd be good, just as a recommendation, and we'll talk about this on the event day as well, as to delegate tasks. And then if you're worried about finding that team, if you're coming by yourself, um, definitely don't be worried, because if like you're looking for a team, you can't find one, definitely talk to one of the people in the yellow shirts, one of the event organizers. We'll be able to pair you with a team for sure. So don't be worried about that. But that doesn't stop people from working by themselves. You can work by yourself if you really want to, but we feel like working with a team is definitely the best way to have the optimal experience. For sure.
But don't let that discourage you. You can totally work by yourself. We've seen individuals win a hackathon before, go up against a team of really talented people, but one person kind of just steals the show. So don't let that discourage you. If you want to be a singleton, that's perfectly fine. I have another question about how the expo is going to work. I believe Greg touched upon this. So we should have mentioned this. We're doing 2 rooms. We're doing the library at Riverdale, which will be kind of like a quiet space, and then we're going to have the cafeteria, which will be like the main room of hacking. Basically, wherever you are at 9:15, the judges are going to start coming around. They're probably going to come to the cafeteria first. They're just going to spend about 25 minutes in each room, roughly 20 to 25 minutes per each room. They're just going around and they're just going to ask you about your hack. Just show them what you've got. They're going to have it. They may ask some questions. It may be one judge, it may be 2 of the judges, it may be all 3 of the judges. So, yeah, that's how it works. And that's going to be from 9:15. What did we say? 9:15 from... Just give me a second, folks. 9:15 to like 10 o'clock, and that's when that's going to get wrapped up, and then we're going to move everybody for the closing ceremony, which is where people are going to be presenting on stage. Now, the second part of this question is, do we all have to present on stage? And the answer is no. We're going to be the judges. I shouldn't say we, because I'm not a judge. The judges are going to pick about, I think the top 5 or something like that. We're not sure how many they're going to pick, but they're going to pick the best hacks, and they're going to put them up on the stage. And they're going to present their hacks. These are the people that are in consideration for the grand prizes. And they'll basically just work out, and they'll just be presenting, basically doing a formal presentation, so explaining it, doing a little demo on the stage, so showing what they've got, maybe have a little presentation explaining what their hack is. It could be a little presentation, it could be a Prezi, like a PowerPoint or a Prezi or something like that. Or it could even be a video. If you want to make a video, that's also perfectly acceptable. But you do have to have something, especially you better be prepared. Just be prepared to go up on the stage. That's basically. Will you probably go up on the stage? Maybe, maybe not, but just be prepared. And different areas to demonstrate. Another question, will we have different areas to demonstrate? It's going to basically be wherever you are. We were considering doing different rooms for the expo, but it didn't really work. It wasn't really a good idea. I think it'd be easier if we just did it in the rooms where the hacking is. So that's what that is. I have another question about where do you sign up for DevPost? So you can go to devpost.com. I believe that's the correct link. If it's not, just Google it and you will find it. Go on there. You don't have to do it now. You could do it the day of. You could do it the morning of. You could do it when you're submitting. Basically, all you do is you're going to create a project. You're going to click on, I believe you have to click what event you're submitting it to, and you just have to click on Hack Riverdale. Just search for Hack Riverdale, and you'll be able to submit it.
We'll demo this too,
and we're also going to we're definitely
submit. So you don't have to worry about
before you submit. We're going to go through it during the opening ceremony.
We actually probably wouldn't create. I would not create your team now. I would hold off
on creating the project now. Obviously, that's something you should be doing during the hackathon. So I recommend not doing it before. You don't have to create the accounts now. If you want to make the accounts, you can make an account now for DevPost, and I believe everybody needs to. When we did that, everybody had to make an account, right?
Yeah, that's
all the team members need to make a DevPost account. So if you want to do that before, that's a great idea. If you want to just make the account so you don't have to do that later, and just make sure you have everything good to go, like all your accounts are set up,
hardware projects. We don't have a hardware lab, right?
Yeah. Another questions we had from somebody was about a hardware lab, or if there was going to be a hardware lab. Unfortunately, unlike most MLH hackathons, they have a hardware lab. For local hack day, they don't provide a hardware lab. We could have assembled our own, but we don't really have we don't really have a space to do it. We do have a workshop, but we don't want. We were told no, we can't go in there and use it. So unfortunately, we're not gonna have any hardware hacking at this event. We're planning on doing another Hack Riverdale next year, and that's probably also going to be like maybe a 24-hour event. So definitely there will be a hardware lab there. But don't let that deter you. If you want to do a hardware project, I would say, yeah, you could. There's just not going to be any materials from us. We're not going to have the materials for you.
But the thing is, we don't want you to. The only thing is, we don't want participants to bring in like tools
or like soldering iron. Yeah. Make sure that like we don't really have any like a proper workspace. Like we don't want people like drilling or using like saws. Or I don't think anybody would be using a saw.
So I think we're gonna say no to the hardware hacks, right?
Basically.
We have to, yeah. So it's gonna be no to the hardware hacks. Unfortunately, we know that's a big part of hackathons, but for this event, we just don't have the resources. This event,
this is really just a basic event. But hopefully, if we ever do another Hacker Riddle, there will definitely be a hardware hacking. Because I was a little bit bummed out because I was pushing for a hardware hacking lab, and I learned that we actually aren't going to have one. So I was a bit disappointed, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have one. So I'm sorry.
Another question comes: are we allowed to make VR projects? That is very exciting.
That's fine. Like I said, this is really come up with whatever you want. So
we can't provide you with like an Oculus headset or anything.
We don't have an Oculus Rift.
But if you want to make if you bring like a Google Cardboard in and you want to,
or if you have your own Oculus Rift, or if you have a Vive. By the way, I'm Team Vive. By the way, sorry, Palmer Lucky. If you have your own VR headset, whether it be the Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, or one of the mobile ones like the Gear VR, I don't know, did the Google one get released? I don't even know.
Daydream or
Cardboard. Whatever that is. If you have one of those, feel free to bring it. And obviously the judges make sure like you have it. Like I said, a prototype, so that means that the judges are going to use it. So make sure like just be prepared that other people are going to end up using it too, like the judges. So
to those who are listening and who have no idea what Daydream or Vive or
don't worry about it.
Do not worry. This event, do not be discouraged by some people creating a virtual reality hack. Just because it's incorporating VR doesn't mean it's the most original or the most creative. So So
don't let that deter you. If you hear someone's like making something with the Oculus Rift, don't be deterred from it. What else? But yeah, no, this is really come up with whatever you want. You want to make a VR hack? That's fantastic. I'm really excited. Actually, if somebody makes a VR thing, I will want to personally check it out. So please make a VR hack. So yeah, no, this is really to come up with this is where really your creativity is let loose. Come up with whatever you want. You can bring your own equipment, whatever you need. You can even bring it, if you want to bring an entire desktop, that's perfectly fine by us. Just make sure you bring everything you need because we don't have a lot of equipment for that. So make sure if you're bringing a desktop, because yes, you can bring a desktop. If you want to bring a desktop, that's perfectly fine. Just be prepared to lug it around or whatever. Yeah, so you can bring it. That's really, bring out whatever you want as far as equipment goes.
Are we done?
I believe that's it. I don't think we have any questions.
I'll just mention the sponsors.
I will mention the sponsors. If anyone has any additional questions, feel free to ask, because we did say that we were trying to keep this an hour. If we have to explain more. Do we have anything else?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we answered all the questions that were asked.
So
thank you again for sending in your questions. So I'll mention the sponsors. Yeah. So finally, before we close up, we just want to mention our sponsors and thank them definitely. First off, Microsoft. They have been very gracious in providing us resources for the event. K2 Intelligence. You can thank them for the T-shirts that you're all going to be getting. Very gracious as well. Palo Alto Networks, the great company that's supporting us. Ordell Kids Foundation, a local organization that is giving us plenty of aid throughout this whole process. HP, you can thank them for the HP laptop raffle. It's courtesy of them. Center for Internet Security as well. They've been very influential. The Riverdale PTO, Parent-Teacher Organization. They've been helping us throughout this entire process. Also Intel, of course, and then our food vendors, Calabria Pizza, Schreiber's Deli. And finally, of course, we'd like to thank Major League Hacking and Shy from MLH.
Oh, yeah.
From the local Hack Day team.
From the local Hack Day team. He's been a great help. We'd like to thank everybody at MLH for making this, really helping us out, because we had a lot of questions, and they were able to answer them pretty quickly, and they were able to help us out. So we'd like to thank everybody at MLH.
Yeah, those guys are the best.
I do have a quick question.
All right.
Of course. Somebody asking about when will the workshops be available. Right now we're doing one of each of the workshops, so we're only doing one. If we get a lot of signups, I think we're capping the workshops at like how many people each? Like maybe like 25 people each. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll let you know at the opening ceremony, of course, with a lot of this stuff.
But like I said, tentatively we're saying for the workshops there will be one. Greg's will be in the morning, from
probably
starting
like
at 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock. Probably 10 o'clock, because we don't want to cut into lunch, because lunch is going to be serving at 12. So 10 o'clock for the app prototyping workshop, and for my HTML workshop and the website workshop, that will be in the afternoon, probably around 2 o'clock. So yeah, and like I said, these are both hour-long things, so yeah, that's when they will be available.
Yeah, we'll open up that registration probably the day of, and it would be first come, first serve, obviously. So make sure when we say it that you get signed up.
I also have another question about when should I sign up for the workshops. We're going to be opening the workshop registration as soon as hacking starts, because we do want to. We're going to we'll open that up when hacking starts, so that everybody has like the same amount of time to get onto the forum. So yeah, that's when we're going to start opening up the workshops, and so that's when you do it. You would do it any time before the workshop. So we'll probably close the registration for the workshops whenever it either gets full for that specific workshop, or if the workshop starts. So as soon as it starts, you won't be able to register for it. So that's how that will work. And like I said, we'll be addressing a lot of this stuff. We'll be readdressing the day of. So yeah, so don't be like, if you're like confused or anything, we're going to be going into much more detail during the opening ceremony.
Awesome. So,
and this is the last call for questions.
Again, if after the webinar's over, you like, I forgot to ask this question, you can contact us via contact@hackriverdale.com, or you can tweet us at @hackriverdale on Twitter. Follow us again, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and add us on Snapchat. And I think if that's it, we'll say goodnight. All right. Well, from Greg Serafian
and Michael Lucille,
thanks for tuning in to the Hack Riverdale webinar. We are looking forward to seeing you December 3rd.
And like I said, registration is still open. So if you know anyone, spread the word, because if you're from out of the district, if you're at some other school that's not Riverdale, feel free to spread the word, because we don't really have out of district PR team. So if you want to spread the word there, and like I said, registration doesn't close until like maybe a day or two before the event. So feel free to get more people to register. So that's about it. Like I said, like Greg said earlier, if you have any other questions, feel free to contact us at any time. contact@heckriverdale.com. So on that note, thank you for watching. We hope you had a fun time, and have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.